Hey y'all, welcome back to another video with laughs, gags, and gossip. Now let's get into the mess. Hey Scandal Squad, welcome back to the channel, Celebrity Scandalous. Y'all, this is some breaking news. Everybody, we have all been trying to unmask or figure out who that Jane Doe was. Now, I mean, some people don't feel that she should have been, her identity should have been revealed. However, it has been revealed publicly, so that's why we're going to talk about it. Can somebody just jump in the comments and let me know if you can hear me? I hope that you can. Sometimes, I just don't want to get too deep into the presentation and then you can't hear me. But anyway, let's get into this. Can y'all hear me? Can somebody just let me know if you can hear me? Just leave a comment. But anyway, I'm going to jump right into it. So the young lady that you see pictured here, her name is Anna Kane, okay? And her identity has been revealed in a Rolling Stone article. So we're just going to jump right into that article. I won't have you here long. We're just going to jump straight into what's going on, and then we'll be out of here. Let's see. 1 second. I'm going to go to the article, and I will read it. So this is the Rolling Stone article, which talks about this young lady. Like I said, her identity has been revealed. And let's see. I know there have been a lot of videos about stating that it was actually Lamisha Fuller. This young lady right here. I know you've seen a lot of videos with her talking about her experience with Diddy. And let me just say this for the record, because I don't believe in victim shaming. However, based on some of her allegations and just the wild array of stories that she shared and just how things were going down in the media, I didn't fully believe her story, okay? Has she been a victim of Diddy? Possibly, but some of the things that she was sharing were just too outlandish to me. So I did not believe that. But let's get into the Rolling Stone article. And this was published, I believe, maybe yesterday. And it goes on to say, hold on real quick. Let me just see if you guys can see me. Okay, yeah. So it says, a woman who claimed that she was flown as a 17-year-old on a private plane to meet Diddy was gang, at the recording studio in 2003. And so that's the picture that we've been seeing with the young girl sitting on Diddy's lap. The one girl, Lamisha Fuller, was stating that it was her. And I remember somebody had presented that photo like when this lawsuit was first filed. And I remember it being, I thought, a Latina girl or somebody white or very fair, but I didn't think it was her. I was pretty sure that it wasn't her. But she says she was gang in the studio in 2003, must use her real name in her lawsuit against the mogul, a judge has ruled. Publicly coming forward, Anna Kane said that she would not be scared off by the judge's decision or Combs' team's attempt to intimidate her. Now, the fact that she is revealing her identity and coming forward, it has more credibility to her case. And I know some people think that it's unfair that she should have to reveal herself. However, take your emotions out of it. When you're dealing with law, it has nothing to do with how you feel, right? The law, the legal practice deals with facts, right? And who can ever argue facts the best, even when they're based on lies. And so I know a lot of people think that she might not be safe or Diddy could try to intimidate her. Unfortunately, that is our judicial system. We have a right to know who's, suing us in the courts. You have a right to face your accuser. I was a legal secretary previously, a litigation secretary. I didn't do criminal law, but I'm familiar enough to know that it's kind of like a basic right that you have. So hopefully she'll have some good security. She will have, put a strategy into place so that Diddy cannot intimidate her. But just fundamentally, people are supposed to know who their accusers are. She goes on to say, I had hoped to use a pseudonym in pursuing justice for what happened to me as a teenager. She said in a statement to Rolling Stone's defendants demand that I use my name was an attempt to intimidate me, but I'm not intimidated. And that's great. So that tells me that she's willing to fight and to move forward, and that she probably has excellent evidence against him. So, I mean, I'm good with that. I'm prepared to proceed and hold accountable those who have harmed me. So I'm going to take a quick peek at the comments to see if anybody's saying anything. But you just showed a white lady. Okay, you said you just showed a white lady, and the lady on Diddy's lap is not white. Yes, that is the woman from the lawsuit that is suing Diddy. That is the woman, and she is white. I mean, that is the lawsuit that you're referring to. Her attorney, I think his name is Dave Whitmore. He is the one that presented those documents to the court, and that's the picture that was in there, and that is his client. I mean, he has been trying to intimidate everyone. I mean, of course he's trying to intimidate everyone. One second. One second. Yes, he has been trying to intimidate people, but I mean, that's part of the process. Unfortunately, with the amount of money that's involved, and even if it wasn't a high profile case, legally, and I mean, the judge ruled in his favor, he has a right to know his accuser. If you're suing somebody and you're saying they did this to me, if we don't want this to end in a hung jury or for it to be a mistrial, he probably should know who his accuser is. Put yourself in the position of somebody saying that you did something to them and they don't want to reveal themselves. And I know they have ways that they can seal identities and do things. I mean, there are other judicial ways that they could protect her identity, but it's part of our process, right? So, I mean, I feel that a lot of people aren't happy with it, and I'm hoping that she has some form of security, but I think that this is generally how things are done. You have a right to know your accuser. I mean, that's kind of basic law, not what we think or what we feel. And then both opposing counsel and Diddy's side, they presented it to the judge, and that's how the judge ruled. So, I mean, just based on my experience, I think it's fair. I do think it's fair. But anyway, it says Kane. Let me scroll this up a little bit. Kane sued Combs, former Bad Boy CEO Harvey Pierre, and a third unknown associate for assault in December 2023, and that was right after Cassie. 1 month after Cassie filed her own bombshell abuse trafficking lawsuit against Diddy. But beyond the initial filing, which included photos of the Detroit area high schooler, so those were the photos, what you say, the young lady who said that's a picture of, that's a white girl, that is the picture that her attorney submitted. Now, these pictures are from 2003. Maybe she had a tan, maybe she appeared darker, I don't know. But her attorney is the one that submitted and attached those photos to the original filing, right? It says the case has largely been at a standstill while Kane waited to see if her case could continue after Combs' team challenged the New York City specific statute that she was filing under. Combs' attorney argued that Kane's case should be tossed because the victims of gender-motivated protection law was preempted by the expiration of other statewide look-back laws, specifically the Child Victims Act that expired in August of 2021. In her opinion, published on Thursday, the U.S. District Judge Jessica G. L. Clark ruled that the case could continue under the VGMVPL statute and directed Doe to comply with a previous order to unveil her name. And so she has done that. And in a second slight win for Combs' team, Judge Clark also ruled that corporate defendants Daddy's House, the name of Combs' Manhattan recording studio, and Bad Boy could be dismissed from the case. And also, Dawn, she also dismissed some of the defendants in her case against Diddy. Diddy is still a named defendant in the case that Don filed, but Diddy has been released. But Diddy is still a party to that. Kane will have to come forward publicly if she wishes to continue with the lawsuit. It's still largely a favorable outcome. It also bodes well for other survivors whose alleged assaults took place after 2000 and have sued under the same provision. So, at this point, now that her face has been unveiled, her name has been released, I'm sure she's going to go forward. I guess she has to probably amend, she would probably just need to amend her lawsuit and just put her name in there. Still, the decision could cause a ripple effect in how other judges will handle the 20 other anonymous cases against Combs. So, at this point, there are, and let me go check the comments, there are approximately 120 cases. Let's see. I thought she was a public figure, and that's why she didn't want to be revealed. And that's what the initial story was. Okay, so VSOP, I agree with you. A lot of people were saying she was a public figure. I think there was a lot of speculation surrounding who she was. I remember seeing a picture of her, the actual original photo. It was floating around. I don't know if it was on Lipstick Alley, but somewhere. But at the time, I didn't really pay attention to it because just like what you're saying now, she didn't look familiar. She wasn't a celebrity. But from what there's another story that I'm going to show. It looks like she may have been married to some NFL player, but we'll get into that because I haven't even gone through that whole, I haven't even looked at that. So we'll get to why maybe she was trying to hide her identity. And there could be a lot of reasons. Sometimes, people want to remain anonymous. It could be that she had a corporate job. It could be she wanted to protect her family. It could have been a lot of things, but we'll get into that because there's another story about this as well. So it says the decision, 20 other anonymous cases against Combs. Last month, Judge Mary Kay, whatever her last name is, ordered accuser Candace McCrary to use her name after McCrary sued Combs for allegedly forcing himself on her after meeting him at a photo shoot in 2004. So as we can see, I'm going to go back to my other statement where people were saying that it's because Lamisha Fuller came forward and said that she was the young lady on the photo that caused the judge to make the ruling. Absolutely not. As you can see, there has been another case where the judge has ordered that the person come forward. So I think that's going to be a trend. And I think they're going to do that because they don't want any mishaps. They're going to try to follow the law to the letter so that Diddy can't later come back and say, it wasn't fair but these are not part of his criminal case, right? These are just the civil cases where people are suing him. But all of this will be, I believe, at some point it will be considered, if you win the civil, then they can add this to the criminal case and stuff. So I just think they're going to make sure that everything is done correctly so that Diddy does not have a leg to stand on. And it should be. If you miss procedure, when you file pleadings, everything is so technical. If you make any small thing, they can ask for the case to be dismissed. And as you see within this case, Diddy is constantly hammering the court, his team, to say, oh, this is wrong. We should have a dismissal. You should dismiss. So they're just trying to do their due diligence, in my opinion. Let's see. So other cases are still in limbo as different judges weigh their own decisions if the accuser can proceed anonymously. And so we know that some other cases have been filed in different jurisdictions and in different states. So the laws may be slightly different because, again, this is not criminal. Most of these are civil and they want a financial payment. So we'll have to see. And I believe I forget if it's the Busby cases. I think they're all filed in Texas. And it's so much going on. It's so much in this case. I can't remember every little detail. I have to check my notes. It says it's a toss up on predicting which way the various judges presiding over the cases will go. A UCLA law professor, Eugene, you see the last name, tells Rolling Stone, there is no real binding precedent that is set for this kind of situation. Different judges will keep reaching different results, as it appears to be the case in this particular state of litigation. And that's because given states, given various jurisdictions, and what's presented by each side. I mean, most of you probably already know the law is not based on what's right or wrong often. It's based on who makes the best argument. So they're going to be using precedents. And in this case, this happened. So it's whoever makes the best argument. Let's just be real. It might not help that some accusers, such as Ventura, Danity Kane Center, Don Richard, Don has dismissed some people, and several others have already filed similar lawsuits using their names. Okay, so it sounds like what they're saying is this is somewhat of a standard. If you want to come against Diddy, these public figures have used their names. And if you're a private citizen, why can't you? Like, you're not as public as these figures. I don't know. Yes, setting a precedent that it might lead to anonymous plaintiffs needing to show why they are an exception. So yeah, that all makes sense. On the flip side, a judge could take into account the sensitivity of the claims and some accusers being minors at the time of the alleged assaults. Well, I don't know about that one. I don't know how different judges are going to interpret that, because they're adults now. And if you're going back, then if you're no longer a minor and it has already occurred in the past, I would argue that, not that it's a moot case, because they're going to prosecute you or move forward, not prosecute, but they're going to make a decision based on the fact that you were a minor at the time, but now you are no longer, underage. So I don't know. I guess that's where the attorneys will have to come in and be skilled and make their arguments. Although Judge Clark and Judge that person have ruled one way, several other judges seem to be sympathetic to the claim of pseudonymity. Blank points out, I would guess that it'll probably being split. Reps for Combs did not immediately reply to a request for comment. Kane filed her graphic lawsuit in December 2023, alleging that she was a high schooler when Pierre approached her at a Detroit area lounge, boasting of his friendship with Combs and claiming the music executive would love to meet her. That same night, Kane claims she flew on a private jet with Pierre and an unknown man to New Jersey before arriving at Daddy's house recording studio in Manhattan. So as they said earlier, Daddy's house recording studio has been released or as a defendant in the case. Upon arriving in the studio, Kane alleges the men began giving her copious amounts of drugs and alcohol. Things allegedly took a turn when she began to slip in and out of consciousness. Kane claims the three men allegedly took turns taking advantage of her in the bathroom while she pleaded for them to stop. And that's so sad for a young girl, my goodness, getting on a plane, going to another state with three grown-ass men. That's just crazy. Eventually, she alleges that she blacked out, later waking up on the floor in a fetal position and experiencing pain. Once she regained her bearings, she was taken back to the airport and flown to Detroit. Let me see if y'all are saying anything. Just checking the comments. Okay. Combs vehemently denied Kane's allegations in a statement issued shortly after her lawsuit was filed, saying, enough is enough, he said in a statement. Yeah, enough is enough, because your ass did enough dirt, allegedly. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try and assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Well, hell, you was looking for a quick, you know what? Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. Now, you said that same ish until Cassie provided video footage, well, CNN, that you had whooped her all up and down the hotel hallway. So, Diddy, come on, we not believing nothing you say. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Okay, well, that's kind of going to be an uphill battle. The 55-year-old is currently being held without bail after his arrest in September on federal criminal charges of trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy. Okay, so that's the Rolling Stone article. And I guess, did it come out today? Let's see. It was released yesterday. Okay, so I just saw it today. So that was the Rolling Stones article. But now there's another article where they talk about who she allegedly is married to. So now that will maybe explain why she wanted to keep her identity anonymous. So let's check that out. Let me find that one. Y'all gotta be patient with me. Oh, okay, here it is. Let me share this one. Okay, can you guys see this one? So this is the girl. Now, I know some people are saying she looks darker, but, you know, given photography, that looks like it was one of those, you guys remember those Polaroids? Or maybe it was even one of those photos that you take and you have it developed. I mean, I don't know, but I could imagine, you know, because it looks like she has a little bit of dark roots. You can see the dark roots under there. So maybe the girl was tanning. I don't know. But I never thought it was nobody black. I didn't. And I remember, and maybe it's just my mind playing tricks on me, I remember it being somebody white or Latina, not nobody black, okay? That's what I remember. So this one was on, it says NHL. Okay, my bad, y'all. I said NFL player's ex-wife named. So no, it's NHL. So NHL is hockey. NHL player's ex-wife named as plaintiff in Diddy assault case. Now this one was today, and it's on Two Urban Girls. So if you guys want to go check that one out, that's on Two Urban Girls. So this is the young lady here. They're saying, you know, allegedly, because every day this story changes, right? Anna Kane, and this is a picture of her that she took in 2023. And let's get into what they're saying. The ex-wife of Edmonton Oilers, Evander Kane, is named as the plaintiff in an amended complaint filed in an assault case against Diddy, filed in federal district court in Manhattan. Anna filed the amended complaint today, December 6th, against Diddy, Harvey Pierre, Daddy's House Recordings, and Bad Boys Inc., where she alleges Pierre trafficked her, and she was gang when she was 17 years old in 2003, and she was still in high school. So that is her, okay? So that's why maybe people were saying she was a celebrity. She was not the celebrity, but her ex-husband is the alleged celebrity. Okay, so that makes sense. So let's look at these pictures. Evander Kane has a restraining order against Anna Kane, who violated it tonight and was removed at the request of Evander near the end of a game. Okay, so I don't know anything about this NHL player. Of course, I'm going to go and poke around and get some information on, you know, who they are. Let me see if I click on this. It takes you, let's see if it takes you to the post. Okay, well, doesn't really give much there, but yeah, so this is her. And even in this picture, she look a little bit, I mean, again, lighting, y'all have to remember lighting changes a lot. Look at Serena. Everybody talking about Serena up here trying to look white with a blonde wig on. She look like a black white woman, right? Look like she been bleaching. So they be tanning, looking like they're a little bit on the brown side. Tan, rather. Everybody want to be brown, but they don't want to have the black experience. So then this just goes on to say when she was a teenager, she met them at a lounge in Detroit. So this just goes on to restate her original story of how they met. It says, now see, here goes a little bit of the smear campaign. Maybe this is another reason she didn't want her identity known. It says Kane is no stranger to controversy. In January, she violated the restraining order. So maybe there's some other stuff on her that they're going to try to dig up, because if you've been listening to things about Diddy, he allegedly, in some of his notes that they confiscated, had said, we just have to let's get some dirt on the victims. So this will be an example. They're going to try to paint her, bring her a situation with her ex-husband into it, the restraining order. Oh, okay. So let's even read this. Evander Kane had his ex-wife removed from the Oilers game last night because he has a restraining order against her. She may be an all-time psycho, faked a pregnancy, wore a Prego shirt to trick Evander. So psycho, he got full. Oh, Lord. Now, see, I didn't know this stuff. He got full custody of their kids. Now, here's the problem. I don't know if this stuff is true. And I don't know if they're just trying to, I mean, of course they're trying to paint her as a crazy person. But now, if they're able to impeach her credibility or paint her as a person who is a liar, faked a pregnancy, you know they're going to bring this into the Diddy case. They're going to say she's doing this for publicity, she's doing this for money, that she's a liar. Losing custody of your children, that's a big one. I'm in California too. I had a crazy custody case. So losing custody of your kids, if that's the case, full custody no less. If this person lost it's hard to lose custody, full custody in California for most women. So if she lost full custody, I'm really this is going to not be in her favor at all. Hey, Lulu. Hey, everybody. Here's my moderator, Lulu, in the building. Hey, girl. Do you still have your mod wrench? Because I haven't been back there for a minute, because you know I don't get on here a lot. But Lulu, jump in the comments what you think about all this, that they unmasked her, that the Diddy, the Jane Doe, now everybody knows who she is, that the judge ruled that that she had to unmask herself. Lulu is saying, hey, y'all, hey, and sending hearts. You guys go check out Lulu. Put your IG link, or I don't even know how to do all that stuff, but put your IG in the chat so people can go follow you with your data. She does these motivational, inspirational messages. And when I tell you it got me through some tough times, it really, it's like little IG messages, and it's spiritual. And when I was having some tough times at work and just having some bad days, I would listen to those every morning. So yeah, put it in the chat. So she is the woman who was sitting on Diddy's lap. Okay, let me go back. Did you see the let me put up the picture again just so you can see it. She is this girl here. See, I don't know if my cursor is showing, but that young lady who was sitting on his lap in the Dolce & Gabbana shirt, the 17-year-old, I think she was 17 at the time, at the music studio, that's her. And the reason it's kind of crazy is because, remember, everybody was, well, not everybody, because I didn't believe it, but Lamisha Fuller, the young lady who was going around, doing her rounds, saying that the movie Blink Twice was based on her life story, and that she was the one that was trafficked by Diddy. Lamisha Fuller was saying that it was her on that picture, right? And that she was the one sitting on Diddy's lap. And so then there was all this back and forth where there's multiple pictures. Well, I had a D&G shirt. No, this is the photo. That photo with her sitting on Diddy's lap was presented in the court filings. Her attorney, David Whitmore, the one who sued on behalf of Cassie, he submitted those photos, right? So it's in the original complaint. And this woman has come forward. Well, hell, you know what, you guys? I might as well just log the hell off, because you know what's funny about it? Now that I think about it, if half of this stuff is true, that they're saying they said that she lost custody. I hate to say it, but generally when you lose custody, the terminology that they use is that you're unfit. If it's in fact true that this woman lost custody of her kids, and they're saying she's a psycho and all of this stuff, I mean, I don't know if she's going to have credibility. um Lulu, are you the publicist girl? Because I need one of those too, child. We got to grow this channel, you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button. Please share this. And yes, I have one moderator because people are so crazy. And we are going to try to grow this channel. We are working together. And Lulu is a sweetheart. So y'all jump in the comments and help us out here. Wait, the D&G shirt is yes, high maintenance. I don't know why. Listen. If y'all been listening to that story from Lamisha, come on now. When the story first broke, somebody had this picture. I don't know if it was on Lipstick Alley, but it was in some forum, right? And I didn't pay attention to it. I saw the picture. It was like some random white girl. I mean, she was underage. I get that, okay, that's sad. And she wasn't a celebrity, right? So I didn't pay attention to it. And then that was a whole year ago. So she filed the complaint. It kind of went away and we didn't think much of it until later. It started becoming an issue when Diddy's people were saying all of the victims need to identify themselves. They need to be revealed. And so then it became an issue. And I think Diddy, they've been talking about this because she wasn't the first person. Excuse me, you guys. I'm sorry, excuse me. She's not the first one who wanted to remain anonymous, right? So there have been other cases where the judges, were debating whether or not, opposing counsel, they were debating whether or not the person should have to unmask themselves, right? So that was almost a year ago when this stuff first came out about this person. So it was reignited when Lamisha Fuller was coming forward saying she was the young lady on the picture. Now, no victim shaming. I never, yes. I thought she was a Latina girl, right? Latina. I hope I'm saying it right. Don't want to offend nobody. Because I remember seeing the picture with her face and, and she looks young. And I think she had you can see there was like a little short bob or something, but not Lamisha, not her. And then when she started coming forward, I saw the movie Blink Twice. And when she started making the references of the Blink Twice, and it was just so outlandish and mermaids. And it, for me, was something occurred to you, Sweet Peach, but I don't think this is it, right? And then I don't believe that that's you on the picture. And so some people are saying that because of her coming forward, that it's Lamisha's fault that the judge ordered that they identify themselves. And I don't think that's the case. We have a right to know who's suing us. I mean, that's just part of our judicial system. And so both attorneys can argue and debate whether or not their client should be revealed. But the judge was going to have to rule on it anyway. And from my perspective, Lamisha was not a party to the case. So I don't feel like the judge would have to make any ruling in favor or for or against her, because she don't even have a lawsuit. This was all YouTube shenanigans, right? YouTube shenanigans. If you listen, and even if she did go before the judge, even before it got to trial, there would have to be depositions and everything. She would impeach her credibility. I'm just saying. I don't know about you guys, and I'm not victim blaming, but I have people in my family that have mental illness. One of my aunts one time, she was going through an episode, and she said that a rat stood on the foot of her bed and was talking to her, right? And then the following week, she invited me over. She said she caught the rat rather, in the crock pot and cooked him in the crock pot. And then a week later, invited me over to cook for some spaghetti in that same crock pot. So I'm just saying, I'm used to this kind of outlandish type of stuff, right? And I'm not saying that the girl lied about everything, but some of it just didn't make sense. It was like a Disney movie. More so, it was actually from the Blink movie. drinking venom, you can't do that, right? And maybe she was in a situation where she was drugged and she was having hallucinations. That's believable. But again, if you're trying to have a lawsuit against somebody, your hallucinations, and if you were drugged, it's just not going to stand. You're going to impeach your credibility. So, unfortunately, so Lulu, you're saying, wow, she was crying like that. That was her picture. Well, come on now. And I'm not victim blaming because I don't know her full story. Clearly something happened. I just don't know that it's all the linear story that she's claiming, now, especially now that this white girl has come forward. But think about it. If you had an opportunity so let's even talk about crying. People can cry. Actresses cry. I mean, that actresses cry in movies. And if there's possibly $1 million payout, if I were somebody trying to get money or have a claim against somebody, a day near billionaire, girl, I'd be crying too. Okay, I would be able to turn the tears on real quick too. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think in this particular case that the girl on the picture is the girl on the picture and Anna Kane, the one that's coming forward. But I mean, now there's a sidebar that just been thrown in. Now we're hearing that this woman may be not so truthful either. So getting back to Anna Kane, it says she may be an all-time psycho. Fake pregnancy, wore a Prego shirt to trick Evander. So psycho, he got full custody. So let me play it. Let's see what it says.
And a story I have never seen before. Evander Kane had his ex-wife kicked out of a game last night due to the fact that he has a restraining order on her. Evander Kane has been in the NHL for a little bit now. He's had some ups and downs in his career, but he's certainly a talented player. He currently plays for the Edmonton Oilers. He recently was married to this woman, Anna. They had a child together, but things ended about as badly as things can end. Last night, the Oilers played in Detroit, and Anna, a day before her birthday, went to the game. After Evander saw that Anna was at the game, he requested the security to kick her out because he has a restraining order against her, and that is what happened. Following their divorce, Evander Kane did get a restraining order against her back in the end of 2021. These two had a nasty, nasty, nasty divorce. Evander claimed that she faked a pregnancy, went as far as wearing a fake pregnant shirt to make it seem like she was pregnant. He also requested full custody of his kids, which was granted. On her Instagram story, which has about 35 slides at this point in time, which is, I guess, fitting, she said, "No face, no case," while literally putting her face in the foot. I don't know if she heard that like in a rap song or something, but that don't add up. She also said, "Need 15 security to walk me out because your is so little." Here she is at the game. She was wearing a Red Wings hat. She went to the game with her friend Stephanie Ibrahim. Let me just say, these two girls are trouble. Stephanie posted on her Instagram story that her and Anna were getting kicked out, and she described this situation as haram. I only touched on like 5 to 10% of these two's crazy relationship, but this is just another chapter of it. I mean, crazy. This is the first time I've seen an ex-wag, what a funny word, wag, be removed from a game due to a restraining order. This is a first. And I will say that gets my blood going, man. Like sometimes stories, I'm like, oh, I've seen a story like this, but this is the journalism that gets me going.
Okay, so so there you see her history. That's not gonna be a good look for her at all. It says, okay, so yeah, so now this is showing the document that was filed today, and it's amended. She's no longer a Jane Doe. It has her name there, and I'm not going to go into the whole court filing. But now that we're hearing all this stuff about how they're saying she's a psycho, their words, not mine, it's really interesting because now this like kind of muddies the water as well. Now, the only thing that I can say for sure is that whatever document that she filed, the judge will be able to put a face to the pictures, period. Because if her attorney presented those documents and the face is not blurred out, then they will be able to, during discovery, when they do the discovery interrogatories or whatever documents that they're submitting, because I'm sure they will want the actual original photos without the blurred face, the judge will then be able to see it. So, yeah, guys, it looks like allegedly there's a new, that the Jane Doe has been unmasked, but now you've heard it here on Celebrity Scandals and with Lulu, me and Lulu, that she may be not the real one either. I'm leaning more towards her than Lamisha. Like, I don't believe that. But now with all this other stuff about her, I mean, let's say it is her. Was she 17 at the time? I mean, did all of those things really occur? So this is messy. They're going to go back and use all of her history against her, and especially the fact that she lost custody of her child. Oh my God, that's really bad, because it's really hard for a mother to lose custody, especially in California. Like I said, I was a secretary and I went through a custody, and I've sued a major corporation. So I know for a fact, in order for her to have lost custody, it had to be pretty bad. There probably had to either be some drug abuse or some serious mental illness, because generally, even if you have like a criminal history and stuff, they will try to make sure that you still have a relationship with your child, as long as you're not putting your child in danger. So I'm really curious and interested to find out what she allegedly did. What is her history? Because it will play out in court for a fact. They will try to besmudge her character and say how terrible she is. So that could be another reason she didn't want this stuff to come up. But she would have to know that at some point they would know her history. So a lot of this is making sense. What I'm going to take away from this before I wrap is the fact that if this is indeed her, Anna Kane, one of the reasons she may have wanted to remain anonymous or as a Jane Doe is because of her marriage to the NHL player. And number two, because of what we're now learning, her history of losing custody and what may have been a very troubled past, and the fact that they're saying that she is a known psycho and liar. So those could be reasons why she wanted to remain a Jane Doe. So it's interesting. I'm going to do my research and delve a little bit deeper into her history. And then I'm going to come back to y'all and let you know what I found out about her. But at this point, I'm going to say it's not Lamisha. And I'm going to say I think I'm believing that it's more of this Anna Kane. And then we'll have to see. So y'all, please give me a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. And I will see you on the next video. And please go subscribe to, and yes, I will DM you, Lulu. Go subscribe to Lulu's, Lulu, can you just put the IG, put the name in the chat before I end it here? Yes, her history will definitely play a part. What's your IG channel? Your IG page. What's the IG page if you want people to, follow you? Put it in the chat. Oh, you put it in the chat? I don't see it. Let me go back up. I don't see it. I don't see it, Lulu. But okay, I'll put it on the next one. And shout out to Ruby Garcia for being so supportive. I appreciate you, Sweet Peach. All right, you guys, I will see you on the next video. Please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up. All right, bye.